Hey guys, so by now most of you already probably know me as the Huben guy, but in the beginning it was actually very different. I really had to struggle to get my first K1 and I did a lot of research on it before, and of course after I got it I immediately start to make videos, disassemble it, I tried to understand, and by now I have quite a deep knowledge in how it operates, of course. And after that came actually when Huben actually recruited me and asked me to do some videos for them as well. And then also I got the second K1 in 22 caliber. And by that time I had a quite deep knowledge on how the gun operates, and I had two of them, and immediately ideas started to come up regarding how should I modify, what should I do to one of the guns to make it different. And at first I thought about making a rifle, so instead of having a bullpup, to have a rifle, and that was on the table for a while. But about half a year ago an idea arose that this action is actually so small that you can actually make a pistol out of it. So that's where an idea came out, and about 1 month later this was already on the table. So let me explain to you what this actually is. So I will give a slightly close-up look and you can take a look at it while I explain. So what I did is I took the action part of the K1. This is the original, the first version, so MK1 I guess, of K1. And what I did is I made a shorter barrel. This barrel is actually from 22 Gamo Springer gun, and I made this plastic part to cover it to make it look beautiful, and also add some Picatinny rail slots so I can put some optics, or for example like a red dot. I made sights, of course. I made this cover to, let's say, cover the old style of the barrel clamp or a barrel holder that Huben made, which was actually casted and not milled. I added sight. This one is actually just glued on, so I didn't want to make any holes into the action. I also added the rear part, which is very nice for grip and also adds a lot to the looks, overall looks of the pistol. You will see that in the videos that I will show, it's still without this part, so this came afterwards because of aesthetics basically. Of course I had to make the whole trigger assembly. I made it a little bit too big, but my hands are quite big, so it looks okay in my hands, but I was also limited to the place where this magazine is, so it had to be in front of the magazine, so it's kind of necessary to be that much forward. But I could make it a little bit smaller. And of course, last but not least, is the wooden grip. This is actually walnut, actually Slovenian walnut, not any walnut, and that's about it. So what I used from K1, actually everything is reversible. If you take a look, action of course is action, nothing special there, and we will take it apart later on and you will understand how this is assembled. And this part is basically as original assembled K1, is a regulator chamber, and here on the K1 would be the regulator, and after that the big tube from here on. And of course because here the pistol has to end, and here of course I had to put the end cap to the cylinder because the pistol ends here. Right now I actually don't have it regulated, but I actually made a Huma regulator that actually fits in here. But the problem is that if you put the regulator here and it sticks out to about here, and over here already starts the threads for the end cap, and of course the Huben Design end cap is, so basically it's up to here and it's not hollow inside because that's just the design. So actually the air only starts from here on and up to about here, and then it gets narrower again in these threads and then inside of the action. So it worked. I got good results, but there were just not enough usable shots, so I just went with unregulated. Um, so let's talk, before I continue, let's talk a little bit about why and what's so special about it. If you look at the market, what is currently available in terms of pistol, it's really not a lot of choice of useful and good looking pistols. Most are extremely huge, very heavy, and almost none of them are truly semi-automatic. I mean, Hudson has one semi-automatic, but that is so huge that you can hardly call it a pistol. And that's, in my book, not a semi-auto pistol. It's carbine, maybe, when you add a stock to it. So if you compare this to Artemis, you can see that it's much shorter. It's a little wider, and the grip also is a little bigger maybe, but it's much smaller and much lighter. This is actually very light and not front heavy at all, which is very important for shooting. And let's not forget, it's semi-auto. And when I say semi-auto, I'm saying truly semi-auto. And what's more fun than a semi-auto pistol? I mean, that's the definition of fun in terms of weapons. And last but not least is the power output of this beast. And of course, I don't have it always set to max power, because same as you can do it on K1 bullpup, you can also adjust power. On this one, you just need Allen key to do it here in the bottom. So if I turn this to max power and I charge it to about 220 bars, because I don't have a regulator, that's what I charge it up to, you get about 5 shots at 60 joules. So we are talking 40 foot-pounds in 22 caliber. And you will see this in the videos where I am shooting at max power. Of course, in that configuration, I usually do only 5 shots. But if I reduce the power just a little bit to get to about 35 joules, so what's that? That's about 25 to 30 foot-pounds, something like that. I can actually shoot the whole magazine with a relatively consistent velocity. And also the accuracy is there. I mean, if you look at the pistol, you don't expect the same performance as a rifle. So considering that you use iron, or in this case plastic sights, you don't expect MOA accuracy. So in that regards, I can shoot at 50 meters, so let's say 55 yards, and hit an 8 centimeter, so that's about 3 inches, I think, 3.5, a little less maybe. 3 inches steel plate every time, of course, from a rest, because I'm not that good at shooting pistols. So if you combine all of these, it's small, it's light, it's semi-auto, true semi-auto, it's way more powerful than any PCP this form pistol out there. And it also doesn't look that bad, if you ask me. There are pistols out there that look better, like for example the Ataman, that is an extremely sexy pistol, but still the functionality of this one, it's extraordinary. So this was probably the most fun project I ever did. Of course, you get tired of shooting the pistol, but in that case, you just go back to rifle, and when the rifle gets boring, you get back to pistol. So, one more close-up. You can notice that I didn't really pay that much attention of everything being smooth and really nicely finished, but it was a matter of let's say efficient time consumption. So here are the sights. Hopefully you can see that. I can try to measure like this. Here are the sights. Very simple, I didn't complicate. at all in terms of sights. Okay, let's take it apart. So it's really easy to take it apart. First, what we will do, we will remove the plastic part. There is one screw here, which at the same time holds the front side and also the whole part on the barrel. So if I unscrew this screw, I can also take the side off, so now it's without side, and I can pull the whole thing off. So this is made out of plastic. It's POM plastic, so cheap and easy to work on, and also light, of course, because I didn't want to add weight. So this is the barrel from the Gamo Springer. This is the old type of mounting of the barrel from Huben. So I will not take this off and the cylinder out, because in that case I would have to get the air out. We will make a dry shot afterwards as well. Next thing, we can take the grip off. Just one screw on the bottom. Pull it off. Okay, this part, if I ever need to service from the back side, I just pull it off, because it's also glued on with the glue that will release, so it will not leave any marks or anything like this. But again, I didn't want to make any incisions on the action itself. Now the trigger. The trigger actually is very simple. You have one screw in here and one in here. And this is all threaded into existing holes. So those holes were already made on the action and cylinder, so the reservoir. So let's unthread this one first. Maybe just untighten the front one as well, just to release it, so it will go easier. So one, and the second one, the front one. Okay, and the trigger comes off. It is only pushed on this pin, so the trigger is connected, because this is the, sorry, just the screw. Second one. So this is the mechanism, the trigger mechanism. So this is just a connecting rod that goes back to the original trigger. So this was made everything on the manual milling machine, and I made some stupid mistakes, like going through here accidentally. And also it's not finished that nicely, but it's anodized. I anodized everything myself, so block of aluminium and then in the end anodized. And this is basically Huben. This is how you would see it if you remove the regulator and the barrel off. So this is original. The only thing that is not original here is this plastic part, which is just there for decoration. And I cannot take this off right now, because in that case I would have to empty the cylinder and then remove the cylinder. As you know from our videos, the way to remove the cylinder once it's already empty, you just rotate it about 30-35 degrees and then pull it off. Of course, I cannot do this now because it's full of air. So that's it. It's quite simple, and everything is reversible. So if I want, I just take this off and I put a long barrel on it, add a regulator here, just put this everything in the Huben stock, and I'm back with the original rifle, or I should say bullpup. So let's assemble this back. So by the way, this of course is the part where you adjust the power, and this is, again, everything stayed original. The only difference is that I simply have what is it called, a screw that goes inside that has nothing outside. So basically you just, sorry, I forgot an English word for that. So you basically go with Allen key inside and you adjust the power with that screw. That's the only difference. Everything else operates normally, so basically you leave this, you rotate, you put this down, you have safety here. We will make a dry fire when I assemble it back together. So to reassemble, what I do is I have to fit this into this pin and then press it together, so like this. Now I just have to put in the screws. This is sometimes a little fiddling. Okay, I will not tighten this one because I want to make sure that the front one goes easily inside as well. Okay, now I will tighten the front one and then the back one. Okay, and now I only have to put on the stock. Put the long screw in. Okay, and put the front barrel guard, let's say, on it, or the shroud, and in the end the front side, and put in the small screw that screws into the barrel and holds everything together. Okay, tightened, it's back together. So now I have it set to medium power, so it's loud. Of course, this gun is loud because there is nothing in front of the muzzle. Again, loading is the same as with regular K1, so you pull this up. This is, by the way, not pleasant for lefties because this is on the way. So, but I'm a righty, so it's not a problem for me. So I pull this up, and then of course you load here and rotate. And when you're fully loaded, all you do is put it off safe, and I will just make a dry fire. So it's loud and it's powerful. Full power, we got about 220 bars inside, and to get full power, Allen key and open fully, so basically the screw is not limiting the power. So I got the 5 shots of Monster redesign inside, so let's try it and we will measure velocity at the same time. $220 bars about, and fully open, and this time I got the beasts inside, so 34 grain. Only 5 shots and full power, so maximum power. Let's reset the crony and let's do it. Recharged to about 220 bars, and this time we've got the GSB Jumbo Heavy, 5 shots at maximum power. Let's try it. Okay, so we got the full magazine of GSB
jumbo heavy, so 18 grains, and I've set the power 1 revolution from maximum. And in this case, with this unregulated chamber, we should get a full shot string, so basically the whole 19 shots. Of course, there will be deviation because of the power will vary because it's unregulated, but still, it should be quite acceptable. Let's do it. Let's start. I should go slower. Empty. So I don't think that the Crony picked up everything, but the pressure right now is still, this is actually about 100 and maybe 140 bars. The gauge is a little bit off. But I could do still a couple of shots more, so basically I could have the power set to slightly higher and still get this shot string. Okay, so I didn't recharge the gun. I just wanted to continue from where we left off so we can see how much more shots we can get. So let's do it slightly slower this time. So the power is rising, that's normal, but it will drop off quite fast. Yeah, it's still rising. So we are at 200 meters per second. 208. Now it should start to drop. Not sure if I have any more. So that's about it, because it's not rotating the magazine reliable anymore. So because we are probably under 100 bar, but as I mentioned, this gauge is not correct at these pressures. So that's it. Got the power set to maximum and filled to about 220 bars, and we're gonna try to shoot with my slugs. So these are about 35 grain, 35.5 approximately. 5 shots only again. Crony on.
So that's it, guys. I will have a second part out when I do some accuracy, so you will see a little bit how it is to shoot. So make sure and you subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell to get notification for the videos, because there will be a second part of the video on the Huben K1 pistol soon. Thanks for watching, guys.